Gemini. This is GLoLady. This is your August 2018 reading. And as we started out, you are looking at my cheat sheets, my indefinite chaos, learn astrology basic science, and you will see the soul chart and also the glyphs around the outside. And if you look at them, you will see how long they will stay in each sign before they transit. So, why would you want to get your download of indefinite chaos? Well, it's always good to learn astrology. Then you can learn all about yourself and others, and it does make life so much easier, because once you learn how to do the basics, you can put other people in your charts. That's why you have your glyphs, and you have these symbols: sun, you have your full moon, new moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Over here we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Okay? And they also come with what happens when you have the planets in the first house, the signs in the first house. You have your different cards. You have the glyphs. They're flashcards, so you can learn them quickly. Then you can also learn, what does a full moon mean? And there is the symbol of. So I tried to make it as easy as possible so you too can learn astrology basic science. So starting out, what's going on with you in the month of July? Well, we have the sun right there in your third house, and that's in Leo. Now, as you see the signs here, you can also see Leo right there. So match up your symbols, and you will get to learn it a whole lot quicker. So in your third house, the third house of communications, short distance travel, you have the sun and Mercury in there. So when you have your indefinite chaos, you can look at your cards and see what's going on, the planets in the third house. When you have the sign in the third house, right there you have Leo. So you dominate conversation and you love to travel. So the sun being in there, curious, clever, worthwhile ideas. You're always thinking, Gemini. And then you also have Mercury in there. So, natural communication and observant. So, since Mercury is in there, and Mercury is retrograde at the beginning of the month, and it will go direct on the 19th. So, are you going back to places where you have been before? Are you thinking about returning home? That wouldn't be a surprise if you do go on that journey and go back home. As we continue on with the fourth house, you have your sun coming into the fourth house, shining down on it on the 24th. The fourth house is your home, where you have a new moon, new beginnings on the 11th. You also have Venus in there. Venus, peaceful, beautiful home and garden. Are you fixing up where you live? Do you like where you live? Is that what you're going to be focusing on? As we go on, we have the fifth house. And in the fifth house, you have Venus that's going to be transiting there on the 7th. And the fifth house, Libra, constant attention, flirt, refined. Venus, big kid at heart, warm and loving. Well, it sounds like you're going to have a good month, just like you did the last month in July. Just be careful that you don't have too much fun. We know where that will take you, and that's not something, yeah, just be careful. Okay, so as we go on, we have Jupiter in the 6th house. Jupiter is always multiplying, and it's in your work house. Work, health, service, daily routine. Here we go. Okay, so Scorpio works best alone, hates routine. Where we have Jupiter here, satisfaction in your service work. So what are you doing in August? What kind of work are you doing in August? Are you doing it to serve others? Or, since you like to work for yourself, or rather work by yourself, are you going to consider starting a new business, working for yourself? As we continue on, we have in the 7th house your relationships and partnerships. You don't have any planets that are cruising through, but remember, look at what the sign is. And in the 7th house, you have Sagittarius. You need that long leash in relationships, and you are fortunate. You do have a, let's see, how should we put that? You have your pick of relationships, and when you have a relationship, they need to allow you to have that space in your relationships. If they don't allow you and they are possessive, that's not going to sit well with you. You just don't, you don't like that control. You want to be in that control. As we go on to the 8th house, the 8th house of inheritance, taxes, other people's money, you have Saturn in there. Not just Saturn, but you also have Pluto. And Mars going retrograde on, well, Mars is retrograde, and it's going to be coming back into Capricorn on the 14th. It's going to end the month going direct on the 28th. So when you're looking at other people's money, okay, and you have Saturn, confront fears of loss and intimacy, Pluto, strong-willed inner strength, and you have Mars, there we go, passion, need to control the dark side. Are you fascinated with death this month? Are you going to have conversations regarding death in the family around you? What is changing? What is changing with other people's money? Do you feel that there is a challenge with other people's money? Are you challenging? Is it too much fun that's challenging? Are you spending too much of other people's money this month? Just be careful. Don't have that too much fun. Okay? There's a lot of fun to be had, but just try not to overdo it. Okay? As we go on to the 9th house, the 9th house of higher learning, you have the new moon, or I'm sorry, the full moon there on the 26th. So when you're looking at the 9th house in Aquarius is unconventional religious belief. And as I said, at the beginning of the month, Mars is there going retrograde, and Mars is that champion, the crusader, the competitor. Are you making a lot of travels this month? Are you going long distances? Are you wanting to go long distances? Or are you just thinking about it, thinking about traveling to faraway places? Continuing on in your career house, in the 10th house. The 10th house, you have Neptune in there. And Neptune is retrograde. And when Neptune goes retrograde, the truth is being revealed. It's not all, it's seeing things without those rose-colored glasses that usually occur when Neptune is direct. Neptune, the illusions, delusions. Are you seeing things correctly in your career? But things are coming into focus. So as we had talked about before, are you starting your own business? If you are considering it, you will see it clearer as to what kind of work and business that you really want to do. Now, the Chiron in your 11th house, I do not have that as part of the basic. That will be coming up in the second edition, where I will add Chiron and Lilith and some other asteroids, and that's in the second edition, sorry. But you can always get that download and learn more about it. Let's see. As we go, Chiron, where is the healing of that needs to be done? Are you giving up your hopes and wishes that you once had? Are you healing from hurts from your friends who have hurt you, that you are learning to let them go? Now, as you look, as I had laid these out, I said about them being cheat sheets. So when we go like this and they're beside each other, those are square. So your challenges, Saturn, learning your lessons in dealing with your friends so you can heal. All right. As we move into the 12th house, you have Uranus there. Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus is in your 12th house. Your 12th house is your hidden enemies, secrets, jails, institutions. And when you have Uranus, the intuition, higher mental plane, and you're dealing with your skeleton closet, with these signs, you have your planets on one side, you have your signs on the other. In the 12th house, Taurus, inspirational and dislike of change. So how can you inspire others knowing what you have in your skeleton closet? You know, what have you been hiding? And what are you going to be getting out? You know, you have a knowing of. So how are you going to do it? And as I had said, if you look at your degrees and you match up your degrees and you see where it's challenging. So at the beginning of the month, you have some challenges. And then on the 8th, it's going to go retrograde. It's still going to be at 2 degrees, but it's going to be going retrograde. So what kind of ideas can you bring to light regarding whether it's secrets or institutions? You have the Jupiter in your 9th house, or I'm sorry, your Jupiter over here. So remember, we're going, now here's an opposition. You know, here it's square, here it's opposition. Okay, so what is? Well, there again, I shouldn't say that that's really going to affect too much, even though it is square. You have to look at your numbers. Okay, this is 2 degrees, so this is where Mars, at the beginning, you know, you're going to have some challenges with those friends, as I had said, those hidden enemies, those friends who you thought were your friends just might turn out to be more enemy than friend. So pay attention as to your past lessons and learn those past lessons of who is a friend and who is not part of your friends. Now, as I had started at the beginning, I really didn't get into with Gemini in the first house or Cancer in the second house. So we'll go back and it's like, okay, Gemini in the first house, talkative, curious, alert, high-strung. Well, that sounds like you now, doesn't it? And then when we go into the second house with Cancer in your second house, willing to share possessions. Could that be where some of the resentments are coming in? That with your friends you have given and given and had expected more? Remember what I say about expectations. They are premeditated resentments. So learn, be intuitive, and you will have a great month in August, the same as you had in July. Just don't overdo it. Love you. Woohoo! If you've always wanted to learn astrology, this is exactly what you need. Learn astrology, basic science, quick and easy. If you were to put your birth chart in there, where the planets were at your time of birth, you can really see how it is affecting you. And to do that, you check it out with an ephemeris. And I'm going to show you how to do all these things. Instructions for use. The 12th house means the first house, the second house, your third house, your fourth house, etc., etc., etc. Your signs. What does Virgo mean? There is the glyph. Learn all about it. Do you know what they are? These are my indefinite chaos. Learn astrology, basic science. And for this month, you too can learn astrology, basic science. And you will also receive my glyphs so that you can put the glyphs on your planets as they go. Your indefinite chaos cards also include instructions for use. I've tried to keep it very basic, and I have the colors and symbols to help you recognize. I'm going to be offering all of my cards and paperwork for a download, that you may download them, and if you would like, laminate. So for $25, you can PayPal me, GLoLady, and I will send you a folder, and you may, as I said, download these. But you get the whole complete package of Learn Astrology Basic Science. So if you're interested in learning what those astrologers are talking about, life will make a whole lot more sense. when you learn all about you, and then you learn all about someone else, and then you stop taking things so personal, because you know, it's just me being me, it's just them being them. No big deal. It's in the stars. Indefinite chaos. Learn astrology basic science is the GLoLady way to learn how the planetary aspects affect our lives.